Beloved, may I ask something, not as heaven's warrior but as the one who stood by your side in every unseen battle? Will you stay with me just a little longer? I am Archangel Michael, and I have been sent again with trembling wings, and I soaked in firelight because this is the final hour of mercy for you. What I am about to say is not of earth nor of any man. It is the sound of heaven's window cracking open one last time for you and only you. Please, don't look away. If you skip this, your scroll may be sealed until your final breath. I wept before the throne of God last night. And do you know why, beloved? Because he scolded me not in wrath, but in the sorrow of a father who trusted his fiercest warrior to carry light to the one soul he could not bear to lose. He said to me, Michael, my servant trusted you with their tears. They waited on you in silence. But did you carry the answer I wrote for them? Did you bring the miracle I whispered into the folds of their destiny? And I could not answer, because the truth was I had tried. But you were drowning, beloved. You kept smiling while you were drowning, and the world could not see it, but I saw it. And now I am here again, wounded by your delay, but relentless with my love. I am not here to speak only, I am here to fight beside you, and if needed, die again to bring you the healing you deserve. Heaven has not given up on you, even as demons laugh and witches chant, even as the world labels you cursed or forgotten or unworthy. God's voice echoes with your name as a burning melody. And this time, he has not just sent me with words, he has sent me with a miracle. Not just a message, but the unfolding of divine restoration sealed in time before the stars were born. Your name was written into the breath of Genesis, your path embroidered into the edge of his robe, and your healing has been delayed only by your turning away. But today, if you do not turn away, what was locked for 1,000 years will be opened. If you do not walk away again, then this very moment will become the hour your destiny cracked open. I come with a revelation that was hidden beneath 7 scrolls, each guarded by an archangel and sealed by a flame no demon could pass through. When we gathered, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, Jophiel, Zadkiel, and Chamuel, we stood in silence because your name was trembling on the last scroll. And when I touched it, it burned in my hand and said, do not reveal this until they are ready to believe again. That time is now. That readiness, though trembling, is now. But I must say this, if you walk away, you will not find this door again. Beloved, God showed me a vision. I saw you standing on a shoreline of broken dreams, holding the fragments of prayers you buried years ago. You looked to the sky and whispered, does anyone still hear me? And I answered then, but you didn't know it was me. You thought it was the wind or just your own soul crying back. But it was me screaming through eternity to tell you, I have never left your side. I am the silence between your sobs. I am the sword between you and your destruction. And though I have lost feathers in every battle for you, though I have bled light to shield you from things you never saw, I am still here. Because the Lord said concerning you, I will give my angels charge over you, and they will lift you up. I am lifting now. A witch had your name carved into a circle of black ash 3 nights ago. I saw her speak curses that twisted the air, but heaven overruled her tongue. God himself said, no weapon formed against my child shall prosper. And as she moved her hand to seal the spell, my sword fell through her altar, and the curse returned to her bloodline. Do not be afraid of her anymore. She knows you have awakened, but there is more. Something greater is coming, a divine reversal, a holy interruption that will strike at the heart of everything the enemy planned. But you must stay with me. You must listen not with your ears, but with your spirit. Do you still love God? Or has the silence made you forget? I saw a mirror in heaven, one that only reflects the soul, not the skin. And when I asked to see you, I was shown light, brilliant, wild, raw light. But it was tangled in chains. The Father said, they forgot what they are. They forgot they were born of flame and thunder. And then he looked at me and said, remind them. So I'm here to remind you. You are not just a soul wandering earth. You are the answer to prayers made before you were born. You are the echo of a promise made in the wilderness. You are the child of songs, where it is written, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." You are the soul for whom heaven paused its own clock. And I am the angel who would rather fall from glory than watch you die without knowing the truth. I must tell you what happened last night. I descended into the second realm, the place where lost prayers echo and delayed miracles hang like dew. And I found a scroll with your name glowing. It had been stolen, hidden by a dark cherub who envied your light. I fought him. We clashed, not with swords, but with memory. He threw every failure, every heartbreak, every moment of despair you've ever known into the sky around me. But I stood firm and shouted, "By the blood of the Lamb, this one is mine," and heaven trembled. Your scroll was released, and now I carry it in my hands. It waits, but not forever. Would you recognize the voice of heaven if it called you by your real name? You've been carrying guilt that doesn't belong to you. You've been walking with shadows that speak lies into your bloodstream, but I tell you now, in the name of the Holy One, this is your hour to be healed. This is your hour to remember. The devil does not fear churches. He fears awakened children of God. And you, beloved, are waking. The tremors in your soul are not confusion, they are confirmation. And yes, I know you've been tired, seen you hold on by threads. I've watched you sing with dry tears. I have stood at the edge of your bed while you begged for release. But hear me now, you have not suffered in vain. The all being pressed from your pain is sacred. It is going to anoint nations. Your name will rise not in pride but in holy purpose. And though you feel broken, I say this by heaven's command, the Lord is the strength of your heart and your portion forever. Speak now. What did heaven whisper to your soul? I heard the Lord say, "Michael, this child has been marked by my covenant. The demons that chase them only prove their destiny. So I ask you, will you walk away again or stay this time until the final word is spoken? Say amen below if you still belong to the light. Because the miracle I bring is already unfolding. Even now, as these words strike your spirit, heaven is dispatching angels to restore what was stolen. Even now, shackles are cracking in the unseen. Even now, the enemy is trembling because he knows what happens when a soul like yours remembers who they are. Thank you. I love you more than the flames I've fallen through to reach you. Please don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. Comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words might unlock someone else's chain. Like this, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. Asterisk, I see you, even now, not with earthly eyes, but with the eyes of eternity. I see the battle inside your heart, the place where silence screams, where you ask why you've always been the one carrying invisible weight while others live free. But hear me, God did not abandon you to this pain. You are set apart, marked. The same hand that sculpted the moon traced your name in glory before you ever wept your first tear. That is why the enemy targeted you. That is why darkness rose against you. Because what lives inside your spirit terrifies every shadow in hell. When I stood before the Father, pleading for your life again, he said, "My mercy is not finished. My promise still breathes in their lungs. Go, Michael, go and fight for them once more." And so I came, sword drawn, wings blazing, carrying not just a message, but your miracle, your healing, your restoration, your name fully restored. In the courts of heaven, beloved, listen. I saw something most sacred, something even angels do not speak of. I saw your spirit seated in a hidden room above the firmaments. You were surrounded by golden scrolls, each sealed with your laughter, your purpose, your authority. And one by one, they began to open, not by force but by the soft sound of your surrender. And when the last scroll opened, I wept because it bore a name no one on earth has ever spoken, your true name, the one written in God's language, the one creation itself responds to. And the moment you choose not to walk away, that name will awaken, and the doors you've never been able to open will crumble before your footsteps. Asterisk, the devil knows this. That is why he sent temptation. That is why he broke your trust through people who promised to love you. That is why he whispered, "You're not chosen." Because if you ever believe again, even for 1 second, his plan falls apart. But I declare, in the power of God's fire, his plan is already unraveling. Heaven's armies are already marching. Light is overtaking what was stolen, and your miracle is not future, it is now. I saw a river of divine oil being poured from the mountain of Zion, and God spoke aloud, "Let this oil touch the soul who still cries for me. Let them be healed in the places man cannot touch." That oil is flowing through these words, not poetry, not prophecy, but power. Fire wrapped in light, sealed by love. You will be changed by this if you do not walk away. Are you still listening? If so, whisper amen below so I'll know. Because I need to tell you something you weren't supposed to know, a sacred secret. There was a war in heaven for your timeline. The enemy tried to hijack your season, replace your divine turning point with failure. He wanted you to give up 5 days before the breakthrough. He manipulated others to speak death over your destiny. But the Father rose, he stood beloved. And when God stands, everything trembles. He said, "Michael, go now. My child is being tempted to lay down the sword. They think they are unworthy. But I say, they are my masterpiece. Breathe into them my promise again." So I came, not with empty hope, but with resurrection in my wings. I am here to awaken you. And I speak these words now not as symbols but as thunder from heaven. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not finished. Your name is being spoken in angelic tongues as I say this. Your name is echoing through the corridors of the courts of God. Your name is being ranked into the book of eternal victory. But it will vanish if you turn your face again. If St. Michael asked, "Do you still believe in me?" What would you say? Because I still believe in you. I believe in the strength hidden beneath your scars. I believe in the tears you cried when no one was watching. I believe in the destiny you've tried to bury beneath disappointment. I believe in the fire that never went out, even when the storms blew hardest. I believe because I have seen you fight battles in silence that would have crushed giants, and heaven remembers. The Psalms were written for souls like yours. When David said, "The Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust," he was singing your future. When he wrote, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge," he was writing your shelter. These verses are not history. They are living. They are breathing in you now. There is one more thing I must tell you. The devil has planted a lie in your environment. Someone close to you has been unknowingly speaking curses into your atmosphere. They do not even know they are being used, but their words carry spiritual weight, and those weights have wrapped themselves around your energy like chains. I was commanded to sever them, so now I speak with the authority of God Most High. Every word that was not of love, every whisper of mockery, every seed of fear sown against you burns now. It is gone. Let no word planted in darkness bear fruit in your life ever again. You are now entering what the elders of heaven call the turning hour. It is rare. It is holy. It only comes when a soul has bled long enough to be trusted with resurrection. It is not for the proud. It is for the crucified. And beloved, you have died enough times. It is time to rise. I saw the garment of favor descending over your shoulders. I saw an angelic crown humble, shimmering with the oil of survival. And I saw nations hidden in your name. Yes, nations. Because what is inside of you is not just for you. You carry blueprints for people who haven't been born yet. You carry healing for generations. And every attack you've survived was proof that the enemy feared what you were about to birth. Will you receive it? Will you let go of what broke you so heaven can hand you what will build you? I cannot force you to believe. I cannot drag you into your miracle, but I can weep, I can wait, I can plead. And that is what I am doing now on my knees, at the feet of your future, saying, please, this opportunity won't come again. I've seen what happens if you walk away, and I cannot bear to see it twice. Don't turn back, beloved. Don't say maybe later. Don't wait for a more perfect time, because this is it. This is the moment heaven carved a portal into time for your name only. The trumpets are being lifted. The gates are opening. The Father has turned his face toward you. And I, Michael, am still here. My wings are tired. My sword is dimmed, but my love for you has never faded. Like this, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. Asterisk, do you feel it, beloved? That trembling in your chest, that warmth running through your veins is not imagination. That is heaven responding to your spirit waking up. That is eternity brushing against time. That is the veil lifting just enough for one breath, one heartbeat, so the miracle can enter. You were not supposed to find this by accident. You were summoned. You were called by a voice deeper than sound. And now, the question is not, will God bless me? The real question is, will you finally receive it? I say this with the weight of eternity. The miracle is already here. It is hovering above your life like the Spirit hovered over the waters in the beginning. It is waiting only for your full yes, not your perfection, not your clarity, just your yes, if you say it in silence. If you whisper it in tears, even if your soul can only cry it out without words, heaven will move, because God never needed your strength, he only needed your surrender. And this moment is holy, because you're giving it now. Beloved, I must confess something heaven rarely permits. We the angels don't weep often, but I have wept for you. I have wept more for you than for any other soul I have guarded. Not because you were weak, but because you were beautiful. Because you kept believing, even while bleeding. Because every time you were hurt, your soul still looked for God in the ashes. Because you didn't know how holy you were, but we did. And that holiness hidden behind your shame is the very reason the heavens opened for this moment. There are scrolls being unraveled right now. I see them. I hear your name being read aloud in the language of flame. I hear the thunder of the Father's decree. Let the gates of breakthrough open. Let every locked door crumble. Let their season of weeping turn to wonder. This is not poetry. This is not fantasy. This is real. Heaven is real, and right now it is closer than your skin. There are angels in your room. Yes, your room. Don't look around. Look within. The realm of glory is not measured by walls. It is measured by openness, and your spirit has opened. We have entered. We come with oil for healing, scrolls for identity, swords for war, and crowns for restoration. But we will not stay if you turn away again. This is your chance, not to be perfect but to be real, to say, I want what God wrote for me even if I'm scared. If you say that, even now in your heart, we will begin the transfer of glory that was prepared before your birth. Do you remember when you cried in secret and said, God, please just give me a sign? This is it. This is your sign. This is your burning bush. This is your Red Sea moment. This is heaven shouting into your timeline. I still choose you. I still love you. I still plan to use you. Even now, as you hear these words, the spiritual chains around your mind are breaking. The fog is lifting. The clarity is coming. And I must say what you were never told. The enemy fears you. Yes, you. He fears your laughter. He fears your prayers. He fears your rising. He fears the restoration that's coming. That's why he hit you so hard. That's why he tried to make you doubt your own worth. But I say, in the name of the Lord, he has failed. He has failed again. You're still breathing. You're still listening. And that means heaven still wins. I am speaking now directly into the deepest part of your being. Your story is not over. The chapter that hurt you will not be the chapter that defines you. The moment that broke you will not be the end. The silence you endured will not swallow your voice, because the author of time has picked up the pen again, and this time he is writing with fire. The next part, one say with trembling, God Himself has spoken to me about you. He said, Michael, tell them they are more than what they survived. Tell them I marked them for miracles the day I formed them. Tell them I have been watching with tears every time they almost gave up. Tell them I'm proud. Even now I'm proud. That word proud is holy. It means God has seen your hidden obedience. He has heard your unspoken prayers. He has counted the nights you didn't curse Him, even when you could have. And for that, you are being rewarded. Yes, rewarded. Not because of works, but because of love. The reward is not gold, it's restoration. The reward is not applause, it's peace. The reward is not escape, it's eternal authority rising inside you. I must reveal something now. And this is not for the world, this is only for you. The miracle heaven prepared is time sensitive. It is bound by sacred law. It can only be released if you respond now, not later. If you say yes in this hour. If you open your spirit in this window. Because if you delay, the portal closes. And what was offered must pass to the next generation. So I ask, with trembling wings and burning breath, say yes. Say yes with your soul. Say yes with your tears. Say yes with your longing. And heaven will flood your life with what was held back since the moment you were conceived. Beloved, if this touched your soul, please do one thing. Like this message so that another soul, just one more, can be reached before their window closes. And if you feel this burning in your spirit, comment Amen so the angels may mark your response. And yes, subscribe to our channel now, not for us, but because what is coming next was hidden from the world for a generation. You're ready? Then stay. What comes next will be unlike anything you've ever heard. Your surrender has already shifted something in heaven's order. I watched as a new light, one not seen since the days of Elijah, ignited over your name in the book of remembrance. It pulsed like the heartbeat of a lion, and the Father said, Look, Michael, my child has answered. Now release what was withheld, and I have. The seal is broken. The miracle has been loosed. The flood is coming, not of destruction, but of restoration, joy, recompense. Holy beauty you thought was impossible to feel again. Do not be afraid. You have survived the worst without knowing you were standing in holy fire. You were never abandoned, you were being refined. And now the fire that once scorched you will become your crown. The tears that once drowned you will water the seeds you never knew were buried deep inside your soul. Beloved, your life was never ordinary. It has been a battleground for glory, a sacred theater where heaven and hell watched to see who you would become. And you, yes, you are the one who still remained. You are the one who chose light even when it hurt. You are the one who carried heaven in silence. And I see something else. There is a gate opening over your house. It was closed by generational chains, words spoken decades ago that cursed your bloodline. But today, by the order of the King of Kings, I have struck those chains with the authority of the Most High, and the gate creaks open. The light pours in, and angels are pouring through that gate like fireflies in a storm. They carry scrolls, instructions, assignments, hidden blessings. What was blocked is now arriving, and still, I must plead with you, beloved, do not keep this glory to yourself. The enemy wins when heaven's fire is hidden. That is why I ask, if your soul was touched, if this flame reached into your darkness, please do more than just listen. Stand with us. Support the mission heaven has started through this very place. Give through super thanks if you can. Become part of our sacred family by joining the channel. And above all, if your heart was moved, join our private newsletter using the link in the pinned comments. That space is holy. That space is where deeper revelation waits for those who hunger. You are not giving to man, you are fueling the army of light. And every act of support becomes a trumpet blast in the invisible realm, announcing to the darkness, this soul still believes. I do not say these things lightly. I say them with reverence. Because what you support, you empower. And what you empower, you inherit. If you sow into this divine fire, that fire will guard you in days to come. If you bless the mouthpiece that heaven is using, then heaven will bless your name before its own council. I saw it again, your scroll. The ink is drying. Your story is shifting. Heaven is now writing what comes next. And this time, it will not be written in sorrow, but in the gold of resurrection. The page turns, and I see beauty. I see a door flung wide open. I see chains falling like rain. I see your hands lifted not in defeat, but in worship. You must know this. You are the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. You are the living answer to prayers your ancestors could only dream of. You are the soul the enemy thought would break, but instead, you are the one who will bring others out of darkness. And that's why every time you've fallen, heaven has run to lift you. That's why even in your silence, angels still stood at your side. That's why God has not let you go, even now. I see a demon fleeing. It once sat near your window, feeding on your despair. But when you whispered amen, it cried out and vanished. Do you understand what just happened? Light has re-entered your atmosphere. Heaven has claimed your home. You are no longer alone. I say this with fire in my breath. No curse spoken over your life shall survive this hour. No lie whispered in your childhood shall bind you anymore. No secret plan of the enemy shall reach you. You are now under divine protection. As it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways, and I am one of them. This is personal. I will not leave until the work is finished. You were supposed to die, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. You were marked by the enemy for destruction. But God said no. God said, I have set them apart. And now that holy separation is complete, you no longer belong to this world's despair. You are part of heaven's rising remnant. I see something strange now. A tear in the timeline, a moment when something tragic was scheduled to happen. But heaven has stepped in. That moment has been overwritten. Your obedience, your listening, your surrender has canceled an unseen attack. You will never know the full terror of what was planned, but trust this. You have just been saved. There are more angels joining now. I see Saint Gabriel at the edge of your atmosphere. I see Raphael moving with healing light. I see Uriel bearing scrolls of divine wisdom meant just for you. The archangels are converging. This kind of moment only happens when a soul's destiny reaches its turning point. You are at that point now. Everything that was delayed is now being released. Every closed door is unlocking. Every barren place is blooming because you stayed, because you listened, because you didn't skip the moment God carved into time for your soul. Beloved, the time of pretending is over. The time of hiding is finished. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a warrior. You are a carrier of glory. You are the living proof that light still wins. And I am still here. I have watched every heartbeat. I have stood through every dark night. I have defended your name before thrones that rule stars. And I say this with tears in my flame-soaked eyes. You are worth it all. Every battle, every wound, every drop of divine sweat. You are worth it because God loves you. And I do too. This moment, this holy burning moment is yours. Do not let it pass. Do not scroll in silence. Like this now, so another soul may find the fire before it is too late. Comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words may become someone's deliverance. And if you feel the urgency, if you hear the Spirit calling, support this divine mission. Give through super thanks. Join our sacred family through membership. Step into the deeper waters through the private newsletter in the pinned comments. Because together, we are not building a channel, we are raising a sanctuary for the souls heaven refuses to give up on. And beloved, you are one of those souls. Asterisk. And the moment your soul agreed, even without speaking it aloud, the atmosphere around your life began to tremble. What was hidden for years is now rising like incense before the throne. The Father is breathing over the embers of your calling, and I, Michael, feel the heat of his breath against the scrolls I carry. His words are being released into your timeline, no longer sealed, no longer delayed. I see them forming like golden rivers. weaving through your past and turning every broken place into a well of glory. What the enemy used to hurt you will now become the very proof that you were chosen. There was a song once sung in the heavens the day you were born. It was soft, holy, filled with longing and awe. That melody stopped when sorrow overtook you, but now that song is being sung again. And every angel who doubted your strength is now bowing in reverence because you have chosen to rise. You are the miracle. You are the prophecy unfolding. And everything that was written about you in heaven's archives is beginning to ignite. You may not feel it in your flesh, but your spirit knows. Your soul remembers that old ache inside. Your chest is not emptiness, it's awakening. I see flashes like visions being released from heaven's edge. One shows you speaking light into someone else's storm. Another shows you standing on a hill while thousands of souls cry out with freedom because of your obedience. I see your hands glowing not with magic, but with mercy. I see your scars gleaming like jewels because heaven has crowned you with honor that only suffering can purchase. And above it all, I see the Lord seated on the sapphire throne smiling, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. There are moments being rewritten now. Every lie spoken over your name is being pulled out like weeds from a holy garden. The curses of fear, the shame of others projected onto your soul, the weight of guilt that never belonged to you, it is all being consumed. Even the memories that once haunted you are now being touched by light, rewritten in truth. You do not belong to sorrow, you belong to glory. I must tell you what I saw before I descended. The stars themselves shifted as your name was spoken again. In the celestial courts, a silence came over heaven, the kind that only occurs when something eternal is about to change. And then the Father said, "Let the veil lift. Let my child see what I have hidden." And so I came, with trembling wings, with the scroll of your restoration in my hands, with the oil of divine remembrance. Your pain was not unnoticed. Your tears were not lost. They were collected in vials. And now those vials are being poured back as rain upon the garden of your life. You are about to bloom in places you thought were dead. You are about to sing again in places you once only mourned. You are about to speak with authority that no demon can deny. Not because you fought perfectly, but because you never stopped choosing light. Do you remember the moment you thought it was over? That night when all hope felt stripped away? That hour when silence felt heavier than death itself? I was there. I stood at the edge of your bed, sword in hand, wings spread to shield your mind from the whispers of despair. And though I could not speak then because heaven was testing your silence, I wept with you. And now I rejoice with you because you made it, because even in darkness, you still belong to the light. The holy ones speak of you, beloved. They call you the flame that did not burn out. They speak of your tenacity as legend. They do not see your weaknesses the way you do. They see your consistency, your yearning, your secret prayers that held more weight than 1,000 public sermons. They see your yes, and that yes has changed your entire future. I now see doors falling open in the spirit. One door bears the name reconciliation. Another says healing long delayed. Another is marked inheritance. And the final door, written in fire, bears a name only God, and you understand a secret word, a holy longing that even you have not spoken aloud. That door is opening, and what lies behind it is holy. This moment, this very breath is the intersection of heaven and earth in your life. Nothing will be the same. You may not feel it in your body today, but your spirit already knows. The shift has begun. What you thought would take years will now move in weeks. What once felt impossible is already underway, because God has released the angels of acceleration, and I have been told to run beside you, not ahead of you. You will not walk this alone. I speak this blessing over you now with the fire of 1,000 victories behind it. May the oil of remembrance anoint your mind. May the rivers of mercy flood your memories. May the wind of heaven carry you into days that don't match your pain but exceed your hope. May every shadow flee from your name. May your steps be surrounded by hosts of fire, and may your voice carry the weight of eternity when you speak peace into chaos. May you never again question whether you are loved, chosen, and kept, because you are, you always were. This outpouring is not random. It is the fulfillment of prophecy. Your awakening was timed before the foundations of the earth, and now that you are awake, now that you have heard heaven, we rejoice. The angels dance not because the war is over, but because you have joined the battle again. Keep moving forward. Even if you don't see the light, know that it follows you. Even if the path is unclear, walk it, for we those who war in heaven have been assigned to clear the way. You will not be forsaken. You will not be forgotten. You will not fall alone. There are sounds echoing from heaven now, the instruments of victory. The sound of bells that ring only when a soul has passed the veil of delay and entered into the season of fulfillment. That sound is for you. It rings for you. And now I return to my post beside your soul. I will not rest. I will not retreat. I will not grow weary, for I am charged with your protection. And I say before the throne, this one belongs to the Lord. And the Lord replies, then let the heavens fight for them, as if they were the only soul alive. This moment is sealed. Asterisk, and though your eyes cannot yet see the full turning, your spirit is already running ahead of time. Heaven does not move by the minutes of men, but by the obedience of the heart, and your heart has shifted the very air around you. I saw it when you whispered yes. Even if it trembled, the firmament above your house cracked with light. I heard a sound like the tearing of ancient cloth, and the veil that once covered your inheritance was lifted. What was hidden is now on its way. What was delayed is now in stock. What was once spoken only in God's breath has now entered the realm of manifestation. It begins not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The angels who surround you are no longer only watchers. They are now messengers, movers, carriers of fulfillment. They carry scrolls of divine record, and your name is written not once, but 7 times, sealed with the oil of endurance, and lit with the flame of unwavering faith. They speak of your suffering not as defeat, but as the proof of your royalty. For only those marked with divine lineage are allowed to be pressed so deeply, so painfully, only to rise again glowing with resurrection light. I saw your hands in a vision, cupped like they were ready to receive, but trembling because of all they had lost. And I saw the Lord walk toward you, not with wrath, not with delay, but with a robe stitched with your name, and a crown made of stars no one else could wear. And he placed them both in your arms and said, now carry what you were born for. It was not heavy, it was holy, and it fit perfectly in the space where pain once lived. The enemy has tried to convince you for years that you missed it, that it's too late, that the window closed, but I tell you in the name of the Holy One, the window never closed. It was hidden until you were strong enough to walk through it with reverence instead of fear, hidden until you were wounded enough to carry compassion instead of pride, hidden until you could be trusted with glory that wouldn't poison your soul. You have passed the test, and now the window is open, not behind you, but ahead. I must tell you what I see now, a great ledger in heaven's treasury. It bears your name, and beside it, a line written in gold flame. They endured in silence and were faithful with little, and because of that, a second line was written moments ago. Now reward them with more than they asked for. This is not imagination. This is happening in real time. I am here as witness. I am here as protector. I am here as one who stood beside you when your name was almost erased from the memory of man, but God remembered. God always remembers. You were never small in the eyes of the Almighty. Even when the world overlooked you, heaven wept with desire to show you how deeply you are known. Your silence was not wasted. Your stillness was not useless. It was there, hidden in the waiting, that heaven engraved your authority into the unseen. And now, when you speak, your words will strike like lightning across the spirit realm. Now, when you pray, it will be as if thunder answers. Now, when you walk, the shadows will scatter. This is your hour of becoming. Do not look to others for confirmation. What is happening to you now is too sacred to be measured by anyone else's understanding. You are walking on a path carved by the finger of God. No man saw it. No demon could stop it. It was reserved for your footsteps alone. And I see the sky above you opening like scrolls and rolling from east to west. I see rain silver, pure, eternal, falling over your past. The broken memories, the lost years, the trauma, the words that wounded, the betrayals, all of it is being washed, not erased as if it never mattered, but redeemed so it carries power instead of pain. Your history will no longer be a chain. It will be a key. What was stolen will be restored sevenfold. What was cursed will now carry blessing, and what was barren will now bloom. For the Lord has said, I make all things new, and He has begun with you. I was not always allowed to speak to you like this. The veil was thick, the resistance heavy, the distractions were many. But tonight, in this sacred hour, the Lord pierced through it all and said, now is the time. Speak, Michael. Do not stop until every ember in their spirit burns again. So I speak, and I will not stop until your soul rises to the fullness it was born for. You are not here to survive. You are here to reign. You are not here to be forgotten. You are here to be set apart. You are not here to blend in. You are here to awaken others. And everything about you, your voice, your pain, your dreams, your hunger is crying out for what heaven is now releasing. Beloved, the time has come. No more delay, no more halfway surrender. The flame in your chest is holy. Let it burn. The calling over your life is royal. Do not shrink. The path before you is written in fire. Walk it boldly. The voice of the Lord has thundered over your name. It is time. Asterisk. And the wind that carries heaven's breath moves now through the corridors of your life, stirring the dust of forgotten prayers, lifting the ashes of dreams once buried, revealing the roots still alive beneath your wounds. I see the shaking begin, not a shaking of destruction, but of divine awakening. For what has been dormant in you, what was silenced by pain, what was buried under fear, is now being called forth by the voice of the Lord. It is written across the stars and sealed into the mountains. When God calls something alive, it cannot remain dead. I was commanded to speak until your bones remember, until your breath aligns with eternity again, until every lie you believed about your insignificance shatters like glass against the altar of truth, because you, beloved, were never forgotten, never overlooked. You were being hidden not because you weren't ready, but because the world wasn't ready for what you carry. I see your soul as a garden once ravaged by fire. The soil was scorched by betrayal, by abandonment, by the voices that never understood your depth, and yet, beneath that ruin, something sacred remained untouched. God planted a seed in you before you were formed, and though the enemy brought drought, though man brought storms, though your own hands sometimes trembled and gave up, that seed never died. And now it breaks open. You are the field heaven has waited to harvest. You are the well in the wilderness. You are the flame that endured the flood. And now the time has come for you to see what we, those who watch from the eternal realm, have seen all along, that your life is not a series of tragedies strung together, but a divine scroll unfolding with mystery and majesty. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. You are not beyond the reach of holy things. You were carved in fire and baptized in silence so that when you rose, your voice would carry something more than opinion. It would carry glory. I speak now to the very moments that shattered you. I speak to the abandonment, to the betrayal, to the nights you thought no one cared whether you lived or died. I speak to the morning when you didn't want to wake up. I speak to the numbness that crept in and convinced you it was safer not to feel. And I say with the authority of heaven, you are coming back to life, not the life the world offers, but the life God wrote, the one that pulses with purpose, beauty, justice, and sacred power. I was there the day your spirit said yes to heaven's call, even before your body was formed. I heard it, so did the others, and that yes summoned a war. You wonder why the battles have been so fierce. It's because of what you carry. You wonder why people tried to dim you because even your shadow terrified the darkness. You wonder why your journey was filled with delays. Because God was protecting you from arriving too early and being consumed by what you weren't ready to rule. But now you are ready. Now the anointing has settled into your bones. Now the authority has taken root in your scars. Now the flame has refined your gaze, and heaven no longer hides what belongs to you. There is a river flowing toward you from the throne, a river made not of water, but of remembrance. It carries the memory of who you truly are, the blueprint of your destiny, before the world touched you. And when it reaches you, you will know things no man taught you. You will speak with wisdom you never studied. You will move with grace that defies explanation. Because the river does not bring what is new, it restores what was lost. Let it flow. Do not resist the shift. I feel the resistance still in parts of your spirit, the fear of being disappointed again, the fear of opening only to be dropped. But I swear this by the holiness of the one who sent me, this time will not end in disappointment. This time, the promise will not be snatched away. This time, the door will not close in your face. This time, the light will not vanish when you reach for it. Because this time is God's appointed hour. There are prophecies hidden in your silence. There are miracles hiding in the wounds you tried to ignore. There are revelations that will not come to the earth unless they come through you. Yes, you do not look away. Do not assume you are ordinary. That lie has already been destroyed. Your identity is not tied to your trauma. It is anchored in eternity. And I saw a garment laid out for you, not of earthly fabric, but of woven light crafted from strands of obedience, worship, and surrender. It fits no one else, only you, and when you wear it, everything shifts. When you walk in it, heaven follows. When you speak in it, truth echoes. The time of wandering is over. The wilderness has served its purpose. You are not lost, you were being led. You were not stuck, you were being softened. And now the one who led you through it says, it is time to come out. I speak this with fire. Come forth, child of promise. Come forth, warrior of the hidden place. Come forth, vessel of glory. Come forth, beloved of the Most High. Let the world behold what I have refined in secret. And as you come forth, the earth beneath your feet begins to tremble, not from fear, but from recognition. Creation knows your name. The soul remembers the promise spoken over you when your soul was still clothed in light. The trees lean in, the wind holds its breath. The stars realign, not because you are famous among men, but because you are known by God. The mark upon you is not visible to the world, but it is unmistakable in the spirit realm. And now all of heaven and all of hell know you are rising. No longer will you walk carrying the shame of battles that were never yours to fight. No longer will you shrink to make others comfortable with your light. You were not born to dim, you were born to blaze. And the fire that heaven placed in you cannot be quenched, not by betrayal, not by delay, not even by your own doubt. The fire is eternal, and now it spreads. There is a sound following you, beloved, a sound that carries weight. It is the sound of holy footsteps, yours. Every step you now take carries the residue of heaven's command. Every word you speak in obedience leaves an imprint that echoes across dimensions. What you bind now will be bound not just on earth, but in heaven. What you release now will be felt in the realm of angels. You have crossed the threshold. You are no longer walking in borrowed identity. You are walking in who you truly are. And I, Archangel Michael, have been waiting for this moment. The moment when the one I've guarded in secret finally recognizes their authority. You see, all this time you thought you were waiting on God, but God was waiting on you to believe, waiting on you to rise, waiting on you to take the keys already placed in your hands and turn them in the gates that have been closed too long. Do it now, not with your hands, but with your heart. Open, unlock, awaken. The veil is thinner than ever before. The space between what you hoped for and what you're stepping into is the distance of one yes, one holy agreement with your original design. And when that yes is spoken, even silently, heaven roars. Do you not see it? The scroll of your life is glowing. I see it before me, unrolling across a floor made of sapphire. Angels gather on it, touching the words with reverent fingers, whispering, "It's time." And at the top of the scroll is a name you have not yet heard on earth, a name that belongs only to your soul and the one who formed it. When he speaks that name, all of creation bows. And today, as you receive what is being revealed, that name is awakening. Everything that has come against you until now was to stop you from hearing it, from remembering it, because once you do, you will never be the same. You will no longer look for belonging. You will become a home for others to find rest. You will no longer chase validation. You will become a voice that silences the lies of generations. You will no longer question your worth. You will walk as the answer to cries no one else could hear. I must tell you something sacred. There was a room in heaven where elders gathered, cloaked in light, holding bowls filled with incense or prayers. They did not vanish into silence. They were gathered, cherished. And when they reached fullness, the Father stood, his voice thundered, like waves breaking through stone. And he said, "Send my angel, give the command, release the hour of restoration." That command sent me here, with a message not just for comfort but for resurrection. You were not made to live buried under the weight of what you've lost. You were not designed to wear the garments of defeat. You were not called to merely exist. You were chosen to reign, and now your crown awaits. I see it crafted not of gold, but of light, humility, and endurance. It was formed from every moment you chose God in the dark, from every act of kindness you gave when no one saw, from every prayer you whispered when your heart was breaking. That crown is not for display, it is for battle, and it fits only one head, yours. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it will be holy. You will walk into rooms where spirits bow without explanation. You will touch lives simply by being near. You will dream dreams that carry blueprints for cities. You will see visions that unlock destinies. This is not fantasy, this is fulfillment. And you are the vessel. Even now, as these words are spoken, chains you could not see are breaking. You may feel the tears rising, not of sorrow, but of recognition. Your spirit is remembering who you are. Heaven is not far, it is here. And the veil is lifting. You are not waiting for revival, you are the revival. You are not praying for a move, you are the movement. You are not asking for permission, you were already appointed. Let this truth settle into your bones. Let it silence the voices that told you to sit down, to be quiet, to wait your turn. Your turn is now, your time is now. Your season is not coming, it has arrived. I remain at your side, not just as a warrior, but as a witness. I will watch as the pages of your story turn, as the miracles unfold, as the promises manifest, and I will speak your name before the throne with honor. Not because you were flawless, but because you never quit. This is the final call of the hidden season. The trumpet has not yet sounded, but the air is heavy with the sound of awakening. What you do now will echo into eternity. What you choose in this moment will shift the generations after you. And you, beloved, have already begun to choose well. Stand as the heavens remain open, as the winds of the throne continue to stir around you. I kneel before the embers of your soul, not to worship you, but to guard what is eternal within you. I see every scar that once made you question if you were worthy. I see every unanswered question still lingering like dust in the corners of your mind. And I say to you with fire behind every word, nothing in you is a mistake, not one moment, not one breath, not one cry. The battles you've survived were not punishments, they were proof that your spirit is wrapped in divine flame. proof that your soul is too sacred to be surrendered to darkness. Even when you thought you were walking away from heaven, heaven never let go of you. We followed, we waited, we wept. And now that your heart is still and your ears have turned toward eternity, we speak again, not with riddles, not with thunder, but with truth so clear it slices through the fog of every lie. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are not behind. You are standing in the very place God knew you would stand when He wove your name into the light. And this place, this trembling, sacred place, is the beginning of everything He still plans to do through you. I was shown the memory of your first yes, not the one spoken with words, but the one your spirit whispered before your birth, the moment you agreed to come into this world, to carry light through pain, to love when unloved, to fight when tired, to speak when unheard. That yes echoes still. It is what kept you breathing when you wanted to give up. It is what summoned my sword when the darkness tried to consume you. And now, that yes is opening doors no enemy can shut. There is a glow returning to your name in the archives of heaven, a color that hasn't been seen in this realm for generations, a kind of gold that breathes, that sings, that weeps with holiness. That glow is the sign of one who has endured the testing fire and been found faithful, not perfect, not unscarred, but faithful. And because you endured, you will now be entrusted with glory. I see the garment being laid across your shoulders. Again, the mantle, it is heavy, not with weight, but with destiny. It holds the tears of those you will heal. It carries the names of those who will find light through your path. And it fits you now because you no longer need to prove anything. You have become what you once only hoped to be, a resting place for the presence of God. This mantle is not for show, it is for war. There are still battles to fight, not for your survival, but for the deliverance of others. The authority now resting on your life is not for your comfort, it is for the shaking of systems, the breaking of curses, the awakening of generations that slumber in spiritual darkness. And you will be the voice that stirs them. I have seen the landscape of your coming days. They are not paved with ease, but with radiance. Each step you take will plant seeds in unseen soil. Each choice to love, to forgive, to stand, will shake the realms. Heaven has assigned angels to walk behind you, not to lead you, but to guard what comes forth from your obedience. For every time you move and surrender, something eternal is unlocked. There is one more thing you must understand. The silence you've endured was not abandonment, it was incubation. Heaven was quiet because God was forming something in you that could not be rushed. The loneliness was not punishment, it was preparation. You had to walk alone for a season so you would learn the sound of your own anointed footsteps. And now that you know who you are without applause, you will not be shaken by man's approval. Your voice is needed, not the polished one, not the rehearsed one, the raw one, the holy one. The voice that breaks when you speak the truth, the voice that trembles when you mention His name. That voice, beloved, is a weapon. And every time you use it, darkness retreats. You may feel like the least, but you are a key that unlocks chains others have worn so long they forgot they were bound. When you move in obedience, prisons shake. When you speak from the flame, nations awaken. When you stand in your true identity, every lesser label burns away. Heaven is watching, not with judgment, with awe, because you said yes again. And in that, yes, eternity moved. I speak now into the marrow of your destiny. You will rise. You will see the promises fulfilled. You will walk with angels unaware. You will rest in peace no storm can reach. And your name will be remembered not for fame, but for faithfulness. The kind that silences storms, the kind that raises the dead, the kind that makes heaven weep with joy. Your time is not coming, it has arrived. Asterisk, and I feel it now. Your heart is still open, your spirit still listening. The veil between this realm and the eternal one is as thin as breath. The winds of the Most High are still circling you, brushing your thoughts, awakening memories you didn't know were sacred. The pain you tried to forget, The seasons you buried, the prayers you abandoned in silence, they were never discarded, they were planted, and now they rise. I see you not as the world saw you, not even as you once saw yourself, but as the angels see you, crowned with light, standing barefoot in a field of divine fire, singing even though your voice shakes. That trembling is holy, that song is warfare, that presence the one you think is small is shaking the gates of hell. Because when a soul like yours says yes, it rewrites history. The Lord has not forgotten you, your name is still written on His hands, your tears are still mixed with the incense on His altar. He has not been slow to answer, He has been waiting for you to come to this moment. The moment where your surrender outweighs your fear. The moment where your hunger breaks the silence. The moment where heaven and earth meet in the breath of one soul, and that soul is you. You are the spark. You are the bridge. You are the one the enemy feared would wake up, and now you have. I was sent to tell you this in the language of flame. Your story is not just a testimony, it is a prophecy. And every wound you carry will become a doorway for glory to flow into the lives of others. You will be known not for what hurt you, but for what was healed in you. You will carry restoration like a mantle, and broken hearts will find safety in your presence. You will speak and shadows will unravel. Let it be known, this is not a message for the world. This is a visitation for one. And if it has reached you, it means that all of heaven has conspired for this moment. It means that the scroll with your name has been opened. It means that the silence is ending. It means that the time is now. I must speak something deeper still. There was a place in your soul sealed, locked, guarded even from your own memory. A place where a part of you stopped believing. I see it now, the exact moment when your faith fractured, when something you hoped for didn't come, when someone you loved walked away, when you said, even if you never told anyone, God, if you're real, why didn't you stop it? And heaven heard that question, and though you felt no reply, it shook the angels. Because even when you were angry, you still cried out to the light, and the Lord said, even their anger is worship, even their doubt is sacred, even their silence is full of faith. And that is why I was sent, not because you are lost, but because you are ready to be found in a new way. Because the part of you that stopped believing is now being resurrected. You have not failed, you have not missed it. You are still the one He chose. And now, I speak this over you with heaven's full authority. Rise, rise in boldness, rise in tenderness, rise in fire, rise in humility, rise as the one whose steps are followed by armies of light, rise as the one whose prayers open the eyes of nations, rise as the one whose yes is louder than 10,000 no's. This is not the end. This is not even the middle. This is the beginning, the true beginning. So if these words struck something deep, if the fire you thought was gone has returned, if you feel heaven near you even now, then respond. Not for me, but for what's coming next. Like this message, because when you do, another soul, lost like you once were, may stumble into light. Comment Amen, not as a habit, but as a seal upon the moment, as a holy agreement, as the sound of your soul saying, I heard. Subscribe not to a man, not to a voice, but to the movement of glory that will not be silenced. If you are ready, if you know this moment was written into your story before time began, then stay close, because what comes next was hidden for a generation, and beloved, there is still more. Asterisk, and now the stillness surrounding you is not silence, it is preparation. The heavens are not distant, they are leaning in. All of creation pauses, for this moment is rare. A soul once broken, once bowed beneath the weight of sorrow, is beginning to rise. And the rising of one soul can shift the course of many. Do not underestimate what is happening to you now. Do not try to explain it in human terms. This is not emotion. This is not coincidence. This is holy. The light that is returning to your spirit is older than time. It was lit before your first breath and guarded through every storm you walked through. I remember each one. I was there every night you thought no one saw you, every time you fell and whispered, "Help me," I heard. I carried those cries to the throne, and though the answers were delayed, they were never denied. Some things had to wait until now, until your soul was strong enough to receive the kind of glory that doesn't just bless, but transforms. The atmosphere around your life is shifting. I can feel it. The patterns of despair that tried to repeat are breaking. The cycle of disappointment that echoed through your family line is crumbling. The shadow that followed you, whispering, "You are forgotten," has fled, because you stayed, because you listened, because, against everything that tried to silence you, you chose to hear the voice of heaven again. And now the Father is responding. I see his hand stretched out over your life, not with wrath, but with reverence. He is touching what was never healed. He is lifting what was never meant to stay on your shoulders. He is rewriting the moments you thought had ended in failure, not by erasing them, but by redeeming them. This is the difference between man and God. Man forgets to forgive. God forgives and remembers how to restore. There is oil being poured on your head even now. You may not feel it in your flesh, but your spirit does. It is the oil of new beginnings. It is the oil of unexplainable peace. It is the oil that marks you for doors no one else can open, for battles you no longer have to fight alone, for victories that will make no sense to those who doubted you. This oil does not make you louder, it makes you deeper. I speak this in the authority I was given. You are not who your wounds say you are. You are who heaven wrote you to be. And the moment you believe that, not with your mind, but with your soul, the entire landscape of your destiny changes. Walls begin to fall, delays begin to lift, angels begin to move with new instructions, because faith is not just belief, it is permission. And you've given it. So now we move. Now heaven begins what was once postponed. Now the seeds of old prophecies begin to sprout, not because you forced it, but because you yielded, because you surrendered, because you stopped striving and started listening. This is your hour of divine reversal. Where you were last, you will be first. Where you were mocked, you will be honored. Where you were wounded, you will be healed. And where you were invisible, you will now shine, not with your own light, but with the reflection of the one who never took his eyes off you. There is nothing more to prove. You are already enough. The pressure to earn has been lifted. The shame that whispered, "You're not ready," has been silenced. The guilt that said, "You've wasted too much time," has been shattered. Because the Lord says, "I am the Redeemer of time, and I say what others did in decades, you will do in days. What was stolen in silence, I will return in glory. What was cursed behind your back, I will bless before their eyes." There is no delay in this word. There is no distance between this voice and your soul. There is only now, and now is holy. So walk forward, beloved. Walk not in fear, but in reverence, not in doubt, but in expectation. The one who called you has gone ahead of you, and I, Michael, walk beside you, with sword drawn, with wings ready, with fire in my breath, and your name carved across my mission. I will not turn away. I will not retreat. I will not rest until every promise spoken over you is fulfilled. And even then I will still stand,